Live every day as if it were the last, because before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone.
Learn from my many mistakes. As a kid and in my 20s, I was severely addicted to sugar shit. I pigged out on ice cream, cake, cookies, candy for many years. I have suffered many cavities and fillings in my teeth. I have no teeth now. I had surgery in both eyes about 50 years ago here in Albuquerque. My severe addiction to sugar shit almost caused me to go blind. I stopped eating ice cream, cake, cookies, candy over 40 years ago. My sweets now are fresh, whole fruit. Not canned fruit, not fruit juice, fresh, whole fruit. Learn from my many mistakes. Many years ago, I drank some wine and some beers. I was never, fortunately, a heavy drinker. I stopped all wine, all beers many years ago. I wish I had never drunk any wine, beers, or other booze. Booze is slow poison to every cell of our body. A worldwide study in 195 nations found there is no safe level of drinking booze. Zero. Learn from my many mistakes. Many years ago, I drove cars and trucks when I was very sleepy. I could have injured or killed myself. I could have injured and killed other people. Driving sleepy can be as dangerous as driving drunk. Never drive sleepy. Learn from my many mistakes. Many years ago, I went to bed late many nights, and then I felt like shit the next day. Each hour we sleep before midnight benefits us more than each hour we sleep after midnight. We need 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Nothing can substitute for enough sleep. Now I usually go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. and get up about 6 a.m. Learn from my many mistakes. Many years ago, I ate much cooked food. Cooked food is dead. If we cook seeds, any seed on earth, and then plant the seed, we can water, we can pray, we can hope, we can wait, but the cooked seed will never sprout. Never grow. It's dead. Cooked seeds are dead. And we need living, raw plant foods for the best health. Cooking usually destroys half the protein, up to 96% of vitamin B12, about 60 to 70% of other available vitamins and minerals, And cooking destroys all the enzymes, the life energy, and many other nutrients in raw plant foods. I stopped cooking my food December 12th, 1998, going on 27 years ago. I eat raw plant foods. Learn from my many mistakes. Many years ago, I drove the only car I ever owned many thousands of miles. Many years ago, I did not know about the catastrophic climate crisis. I foolishly drove thousands of miles. I've owned no car for 46 years. I've had no driver's license for 24 years. I mostly walk and ride city buses. I've not traveled outside New Mexico for over 31 years since I returned from my dad's funeral in Illinois. My mother died 12 years before my dad. 12 years before my dad. Learn from my many mistakes. As a teenager, I wasted many precious hours watching many violent television programs. Have Gun Will Travel, Zorro, The Lone Ranger, Gunsmoke, Wagon Train, Wyatt Earp. Now I refuse to watch movies glamorizing guns and violence. I treasure movies that touch my heart deeply. I treasure movies that inspire me, movies that cause me to cry tears of love and sorrow, like La Mission, starring Benjamin Bratt, Four Moons, from Mexico, with English subtitles. Both La Mission, starring Benjamin Bratt, and Four Moons, or Cuatro Lunas in Spanish, are on YouTube. Learn from my many mistakes. For many years, I was a sincere Christian. I was a sincere young Christian preacher 59 years ago in Virginia, and later Illinois. I was addicted to the Bible. I did not question deeply the Bible and my faith, sadly. I spent thousands of hours in church services, thousands of hours reading the Bible and Christian books. I no longer believe in a fair, loving parent God who helps millions who beg God desperately for help. Learn from my many mistakes. I foolishly walked across the street on May 16th, 2023. I saw a vehicle coming up yonder fast, but I thought I could make it. I should have waited until that vehicle passed. The driver, of course, was wrong in hitting me. The driver was wrong in not stopping to help me after hitting me. I think the driver intentionally sped up a bit to hit me. But the hit and run would not have happened if I had waited just minutes to cross the street. Never take foolish chances as I did that day. Why suffer as I did? 28 days hospitalized, UNM hospital and the rehab hospital total. If the driver, whether a man or a woman, I don't know, we may never know who it was. if that driver ever confesses and sincerely apologizes, I aim to forgive that person. If I had my life to live over, knowing what I know now, I would aim to change many, many things in my life. I compliment you women who wear low-cut dresses and tops showing more of your breasts. Enjoy showing your bodies. We cannot show our bodies in the grave. Enjoy being sexy. Women and men enjoy being attractive. As a man, I enjoy wearing no shirt in public when I'm not cold. I strongly support equal rights for any woman on earth to be top-free in public, if she wants to be. Why should any law require any woman to cover more of her body than a man's body? Women, men, non-binary persons, why waste loads of money on fancy clothes, expensive jewelry, cosmetics? We can be attractive by being lean and healthy. We can be attractive by never being stuck up toward anybody. We can be attractive by being always honest, friendly, dependable. I love to dance to beautiful music, Mexican and Chicano music, older country, Motown, Diana Ross. Now, I do not know all the dance steps. I've never taken a dance class. I just do what I feel. I dance with my longtime friend Maria, with other women, often by myself. I would love to dance with certain men, but sadly, most men in this society do not have the balls to dance with men unless they are in a gay bar. Women sometimes dance with women at fiestas. Why are most men afraid, ashamed to dance with men at fiestas? I've never had a flu shot in my life. I've never had a vaccination for COVID. I eat healthy, raw plant foods. I eat no grain, no meat, no eggs, no cheese, no sugar shit. I drink no booze, no sodas, no milk. I sunbathe much or all of my body most days all year around. I walk many blocks on many days. And on many days when I don't walk much, I often bounce on my trampoline in my room. I need friends, and I appreciate having friends. But if you eat lots of unhealthy crap, if you drink booze, if you drink sodas, if you're fat like millions of people in this country, COVID vaccinations may save your life. COVID vaccinations save millions of lives of people who live and eat unhealthy. But some people have had bad reactions to COVID vaccinations. My parents sadly had a miserable marriage. It was very hard on my mother, very hard on my dad. They stayed together for 48 years until my mother died. I wish they had parted peacefully or had never married. They might have been good friends if they had never lived under the same roof. At least once when I was growing up, I was afraid my father would kill my mother. I'm so glad no gun was ever in our home. My mother and my father were not boozers. If there had been a gun in our home, and if my parents had been boozers, there might have been a murder-suicide. My father became a workaholic. My mother became severely addicted to sugar shit as a slow poison substitute for affectionate sex and romance with some man she could be attracted to. Seeing them both suffer in their 48-year marriage is one of many reasons I never want marriage to anyone on earth. Never, never, never. Do you have secrets about yourself you've never told anyone? Our secrets can make us sick. Our secrets can keep us sick. I enjoy opening my life on this program. I enjoy opening my life in my conversations, my letters, my articles. Our secrets can make us sick and keep us sick. Do you lie to hide your secrets? Do you appreciate when close friends confide deeply in you about their lives? Cleaning out the secrets in the closets of our lives can set us free to be real with everybody. I love personal questions, and I mean that. Have any of your friends told you they love personal questions? Sadly, many people do not love personal questions. We must never expect our friends to be open and honest with us about their lives if we are not open and honest with them about our lives, our feelings. If you have a gas cooking stove, get rid of it as soon as possible. Gas stoves poison the air inside homes, especially in cool and cold weather when the windows are shut. Besides methane, natural gas has 20 hazardous air pollutants. 20. Some children get asthma from gas stoves. Burning gas or propane to cook meals creates dangerous pollution, not just in the kitchen, but in the whole house for hours. And one of the poisons is benzene, a highly toxic chemical. Benzene can cause anemia and leukemia. Until you get rid of the gas stove, open the windows in your whole house when you are cooking, if the weather is warm enough. Turning on one burner of a gas stove causes benzene levels like breathing in cigarette smoke. I stopped cooking my food in 1998, over 26 years ago. Cooking usually destroys most of the nutrients. And microwaving food is even worse for health than regular cooking food. Eat no food in a restaurant or in anybody's home that has been microwaved. Never microwave food. No God hears and helps thousands of Palestinians in Gaza injured, murdered, made homeless by billions of dollars of U.S. weapons given to Israel by both Biden and Trump war criminals. These billions of dollars of weapons have turned Gaza into hell. So why would a U.S. Christian father pray and expect God to help his son's basketball team to win? Crazy. No God hears and helps millions hungry and starving worldwide. So why would a U.S. Christian pray to God to find a parking space? Crazy. Insanity. No God heard and helped millions the U.S. murdered in war in Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. So why would a U.S. Christian mother pray for God to heal her sick daughter? No God heard and helped many thousands the U.S. murdered in El Salvador and Guatemala. So why would some U.S. Christians pray to God to win the lottery? No God heard and helped millions of Jews, gays, gypsies, handicapped people, communists, Jehovah's Witnesses, tortured and murdered in the Nazi gas ovens and concentration camps. So why would a U.S. Christian expect God to help him or her find a new job? And sadly, as I know from my past, most Christians do not question things deeply. 59 years ago, I was a very sincere young preacher. Sadly, I spread much religious bullshit about God, the imaginary friend, the imaginary friend. I was wrong, very wrong, and I apologize. We all need close friends. Loneliness kills. Loneliness is more deadly than smoking cigarettes. And how I hate cigarettes and damn cigarettes. Video chats, Zoom, emails, computer contacts are not enough. We all need face-to-face, close friends with heart-to-heart conversations. We need many warm hugs with close friends. Many men who yell faggot at others have sex with men, or they want to, but do not have the balls to say so. Some men are terrified of their hidden desire for sex with men. Some men make fun of, curse, threaten, beat up, even murder gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and trans persons. Many men live a double life. A gay white guy told me a married Chicano picked a fight with him, and later the two of them, the gay white guy and the married Chicano, were at the same party. And as the night wore on, the gay white guy and the married Chicano got it on. Not with this, but in sex. The married Chicano went home to his wife, later came back to the gay white guy for more sex. And the gay white guy asked the married Chicano, if you had these feelings for me, why did you pick a fight with me? And the married Chicano answered honestly, I could not let my friends know. Many or most men who love sex are bi-curious about sex with men, even if they have never done it with a man. Until any man on earth can freely tell his family, his friends, that he enjoys sex with men with no shame, no fear, no guilt, and until any woman on earth can freely tell her family, her friends, she enjoys sex with women with no fear, no shame, no guilt. Our struggle for romantic freedom must continue. If you have friends who insult or attack gays, lesbians, bisexuals, trans persons, tell those friends, you better stop persecuting them. Some people may wonder, why are you barking so loud? What's this big deal about putting down and persecuting gays, lesbians, and bisexuals? What are you trying to hide? A powerful study involved 3 groups of rats. The first group of rats were fed from birth diets of raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw nuts, raw whole grains, and these rats grew into completely healthy specimens, never suffered from any diseases. They grew rapidly. They never became fat. They reproduced with vigor and enthusiasm, had healthy offspring. They were always playful and affectionate. Upon reaching an age equivalent to 80 human years, they were put to death and autopsied. And all their organs, their glands, their tissues appeared in perfect condition. No signs of aging or degeneration. The second group of rats were fed from birth diets of cooked foods, including white bread, meat, milk, salt, sodas, candy, cakes, vitamins, medicines. These rats became fat. And they were afflicted by the very same diseases that afflict people now. Colds, fevers, pneumonia, poor eyesight, heart disease, cataracts, cancer, arthritis. And during the life cycle of this second group of rats, they were vicious, nervous, self-destructive. They had to be separated to keep them from killing each other. Does this sound familiar in this country, this world? Their offspring were consistently ill, displayed the same behavior as their parents. Most of the second group died early, prematurely, from diseases or various epidemics which swept through the colony of rats. Autopsies performed on this group showed extensive degeneration in all the organs, the glands, the tissues of their bodies. The third group of rats were fed a diet identical to the second group, the white bread, meat, milk, salt, soda, candy, cakes, vitamins, medicines, until they've reached an equivalent human age of 40 years. And they showed the same symptoms of ill health and self-destructive behaviors as a second group. But at the end of this time period, this third group of rats were placed on a strict water fast for several days. And then they were fed the raw diet of the first group. Diets of raw fruits, vegetables, raw nuts, raw whole grains. And this diet was alternated with periods of fasting to get rid of the poisons from the shit they had eaten earlier in this experiment. Within 1 month, this third group of rats, their health and their behavior changed big time. They became affectionate, playful, never became ill. Autopsies performed after the equivalent of 80 human years indicated this group had reversed its degenerative tissue damage. We can rejuvenate our bodies, we can rejuvenate our health, even if for years we ate shit, drank booze. We can change, and we can get good health in our later years. To eating only raw plant foods. Cooked food is slow poison. Cooked food is dead. Never heat raw plant foods over 105 degrees. People have used the Bible to torture and kill people of other religions, or of no religion, like me. People have used the Bible to put men above women. People have used the Bible to put whites above brown and black people. People have used the Bible to oppose marriage between whites and blacks. People have used the Bible to mass murder Native Americans, to mass murder Jews, to mass murder Palestinians and gay people. People have used the Bible to plunder and poison our Mother Earth for greedy profits. People have used the Bible to curse masturbation. People have used the Bible to make us ashamed of our naked bodies. People have used the Bible to make us ashamed of giving and receiving affectionate sexual pleasure. I damn all such religion. People have used the Bible to bless capitalism. People have used the Bible to silence honest questions. People have used the Bible to keep poor people ignorant and quiet under bloody dictators. People have used the Bible to condemn passionate romance between men or between women. People have used the Bible to enslave millions of black people. People have used the Bible to demand people remain in marriages that are miserable for both people involved. People have used the Bible to rally soldiers and taxpayers to rob and to mass murder other nations. People have used the Bible to surgically rape and painfully mutilate boy babies in circumcision. I hate, I damn all such evil religion. People have used the Bible to abuse and eat animals. People have used the Bible to support the death penalty. People have used the Bible to build nuclear bombs, to terrorize the world. People have used the Bible to teach eternal punishment, never-ending punishment in hell, with no pardon, no parole, no more chances to change. I hate and I damn such evil religion. The semen, the cum of a man who smokes cigarettes is contaminated with the many poison chemicals in cigarette smoke. The semen, the cum of a man who eats much meat and dairy from animals fed crops sprayed with poison pesticides, that cum is polluted with some of those poisons. The more poisons go into the body, the more poisons come out of the body in all body fluids, including men's semen and in women's vaginal fluids. I'm glad to swallow the cum of a single man who lives and eats healthy when I'm attracted to him and he is attracted to me. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Per second. 186,000 miles per second, the speed of light. And traveling at 186,000 miles per second to our nearest galaxy, 2.5 million years at the speed of light, the nearest galaxy outside our galaxy, the Milky Way. The universe started 13.8 billion, not million, 13.8 billion years ago. The edge of the universe is 46.5 billion years away, traveling at 186,000 miles per second. The universe keeps getting bigger, expanding. Our Milky Way galaxy may have 400 billion stars. 400 billion stars just in our family galaxy, Milky Way. At least an estimated 2 trillion galaxies, and a trillion is a million times a million, 2 trillion galaxies with 100 to 200 billion trillion stars. And to think just, 300 years or 400 years ago, Galileo was punished by the Roman Catholic Church for saying the earth was not the center of the universe. Insanity. I condemn kids shooting kids or adults. But adults are largely the cause. Kids do not own the gun factories. Kids do not own the gun stores. Kids do not write, produce, and act in the evil U.S. movies that glamorize guns, glamorize settling problems with a gun. Kids are not the mayors, the business owners, the city and state officials who say nothing publicly against the evil movies made in New Mexico. Movies that glamorize guns and murder. Kids are not the adult actors of all colors, who get filthy rich, poisoning kids' minds with violence. Kids are not the parents who own guns. Kids are not the parents who love guns. Yes, kids who shoot and kill other kids or adults need to change, no question. But even more so, the adults who are even more responsible for kids' gun violence. Doug, who was a U.S. Vietnam veteran, said, "I hope you can see the hell I live with through every day. My experience has left me a very lonely person. I have no real friends. I don't think I ever will until I find peace within myself. I hope that someday I will be able to forgive myself." From the U.S. veteran, Vietnam veteran, Doug. In the year 2000, I started writing down what I spend every day. I aim to write down every penny I spend for everything. Rent, food, stamps, everything I buy. I do not spend much besides rent and food. I learned to write down all I spend from the book, Your Money or Your Life. Your Money or Your Life. Writing down every penny I spend and adding it up is a wonderful discipline. Much of the money most people spend in this country is for crap no one needs. Crap I do not want, even if it were free. When our loved ones are dying, we need to make sure they know they can talk with us frankly about dying and their death. They need to know we will not change the subject. They need to know we will not walk out of the room. Sometimes the dying person wants to talk about their death, but fears their family and friends cannot handle it. Fears that their family and friends will bullshit them with, "You'll soon be up and around. You're looking better every day." Bullshit. If the friends and the family know the person is dying. Parents, do you want your kids to be honest? Do you ever tell them to lie for you, saying you're not home when you are home? If someone phones or comes to the door and you do not want to speak to that person? Parents, do you lie to your kids about your own past mistakes? People learn to lie if their families lie. Kids learn to lie when telling the truth makes their parents more upset, more angry, than if they told the truth about what they did wrong. Parents, do your kids hear you lying to your friends about your lives? Do your kids hear you being two-faced, saying one thing to someone face-to-face and something very different behind that person's back to someone else? Many years ago, the U.S. government gave Native Americans the 4 white killers to eat: white sugar, white flour, salt, lard. The U.S. government many years ago gave Native Americans blankets contaminated with smallpox to sicken and to kill them. White sugar, white flour, salt, and lard cause fat bodies, diabetes, and alcoholism. If the two of you both enjoy your marriage, or if the two of you are passionate lovers who do not want marriage to anyone, or if the two of you are very close friends, kissing each other for at least 6 seconds of kissing, or hugging each other for 20 seconds or more, releases the hormone oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds a baby with his or her mother. A kiss of at least 6 seconds, or a hug of 20 seconds or more, builds trust between the persons and calms down the fear centers of our brains. Millions of people all over the world in capitalist countries, capitalist dictatorships, communist dictatorships, would be so glad if they could speak on radio or television to their communities against the evils of their government, or on what they believe, what they feel, no matter how controversial, on any subject. To speak from their heart to anyone who will listen, to speak freely with no fear of a knock on the door at midnight taking them away to a torture chamber, a long prison sentence, or execution. We need to use the freedom of speech we still have left in this nation if we don't want to lose it all. If you want to speak from your heart on your own program on this station, as I speak from my heart on this program, contact Joseph at 717-1667. That's 505-717-1667. Joseph. To apply to do your own program, whether it's one time or a weekly program, totally free. I do not pay a penny for this station to air my program on Channel 27, and the station does not pay me a penny. The station provides free of charge experienced people to run the cameras, to run the other high-tech equipment. If you want to interview people on your program, or if you want to have musicians perform in person, it's a wonderful opportunity. If you're 18 and over, and if you live in Albuquerque, call Joseph 505-717-1667 to ask him for a program. One of my favorite health books is Los Viejos. In English, that means the old ones, published in 1976. And the book is mostly in English, except for the title, Los Viejos. Los Viejos is about the very old people of Vilcabamba in the mountains of Ecuador, South America. Some of these people were over 100 years old, still healthy, still active, still loving life. They worked hard almost to the day they died. They had never taken prescription drugs. They never had yearly physicals. They ate mainly simple foods from the earth, not crap from factories and fast food joints. They did not have much stuff. They had very little money, but they loved life. They treasured past romances, and they looked forward to new romances. The old men still had strong desire for sex and romance. And some of these old people were married 80 years or more. And after one partner died, marrying someone else was common up to 100 years old. They were never too old to want and to talk about sex and romance. Never too old. Why would an old man feel shame and guilt for wanting sex and romance any more than a young man who wants sex and romance? Why would an old man consider himself a dirty old man for wanting sex and romance any more than a young man who wants sex and romance? To have a good old age, we need healthy bodies, we need many warm hugs, we need a reason to get up in the morning, something worth doing. We need passionate sex and romance if possible. It's not always possible, but if possible. We need to help others. To have a good old age, we need to enjoy nature. We need to take a strong stand for fairness and for peace in our world, for all people on earth. We need to have a good old age. We need enough money to live simply. And I enjoy living below the U.S. poverty level. We need to eat only healthy food. To have a good old age, we need to have a small, quiet place to live. We need close friends of all ages. Loneliness kills. As I said, I enjoy living simply, and I want to die simply, whether I die tomorrow or 30 years from now. I reject cremation. Cremation of one body requires the energy it takes to drive a car thousands of miles. Cremation is not climate friendly. I reject embalming. Embalming is an expensive, unnecessary use of poison chemicals. Cooling the body with no embalming can delay burial to 2 or 3 days after death. And 8 years ago, this summer, I bought a plot at San Jose de Armijo Cemetery on Arnal, west of Coors. And that's the only real estate I have owned in my 79 years. San Jose de Armijo is a beautiful dirt cemetery, much cheaper than most large grass cemeteries here. Why waste water in this desert to grow grass in cemeteries for rotting bodies? Use the water for the living, to grow food, to grow flowers. No vault, no liner are required at San Jose de Armijo Cemetery. 8 years ago, I made my coffin out of half-inch plywood. I spent about $60. Why waste thousands of dollars on a luxury box and a fancy funeral for my dead body when millions of children worldwide suffer from hunger and cold with no home? I very much want to be reunited with all my loved ones in a better world beyond death, but I strongly doubt that happens. Wanting something deeply does not make it so. A woman wrote, "My father-in-law used to say, I know that smoking is not good for me, but I'd rather enjoy my time on earth and die a little earlier than deprive myself of the things I enjoy." And this woman said, unfortunately, Dad did not get very much more enjoyment because he had to have bypass surgery. And then he needed his arteries stripped so his brain could get proper blood supply. And then they stripped his femoral arteries, not once, twice. He continued to smoke one cigarette after another. Soon his leg got gangrene. There wasn't enough artery to save, so they amputated his leg almost to his hip. Dad's other leg began to lose circulation. His coronary bypasses were clogging. Fortunately, he died before they did any further amputations. Through all of this, Dad never deprived himself of the pleasure of smoking, but he deprived his family of having him around to celebrate his 60th birthday. I thank Mark, Eddie, Travis for helping me many, many, many times to do this program. And I thank you for watching and listening. And I welcome you to speak to me on the street or anywhere if you see me, if you want to talk. I love personal questions. To your health, my fresh piss.
Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high, and when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said